Hey everybody, welcome to Go for Green Living. My name's Daniel. And today is the first video on my series that I'm doing about feeding your family. And today's topic is on onions. Okay, this is take two. I shot the video, I put the camera up and I went and did some more work around there, and I planned on editing at night, and then that night I realized, oh, it cut off right there. So here we are. This is the first video of the series I'm doing about feeding your family during the crisis. And our first topic is onions. I know a lot of people don't like onions, but for those of us that do, I hope this video helps you. Now me personally, I try to grow at least 400 onions. You know, I figure one a day. You know, that's a lot of accent flavor for me. So when you're cooking something, you need a little bit of flavor. You like cooking a pot of beans, a pot of green beans, a casserole. An onion is a good accent flavor. And one a day, you know, you could use it so many different ways. You know, you could eat it raw. You could eat it, you know, cooked. You can make it sweet. So many different ways you can make an onion flavor to accent what you're cooking. So they are important in a crisis situation. Plus the bartering aspect of it. You know, imagine, you know, you being able to barter a couple of onions, you know, how much that would be worth, you know, in the crisis. Now, what varieties do I grow? Now, I grow pretty much anything. My favorite to grow is the Texas sweet onions. They get really big here, and I grow all my onions in a raised bed. But they get really big here. But I try to grow the reds and the whites and the other yellows every year. I keep hoping that I'll be successful in growing them. All right, but I also grow wild leeks. And they're actually wild. It's called wild garlic, but it's actually a leek, and hence that's why they're so big. Now these have a lot of medicinal values to the leeks. It's lowers your cholesterol, lowers your blood pressure, fights cancer. It's an antibiotic. All these good beneficial things that if you were eating one a day, you know, it would benefit you healthy wise, even if we weren't in a crisis. But you know, I love them. I make a perfect wild leek soup. Oh, it's so good. Now this is the way that I grow them. Now the wild leeks, I put them everywhere. I put them in raised beds. I put them in tires. I grow them in tires. I grow them around my flower beds. I put them everywhere because I have so many. I started off with two. Started with 2 wild leeks, and I probably got 1,000 now. It's taken like 4 years to get that many, but I probably have that many now. So I don't think I'll be running out of wild leeks anytime soon. But as far as onions, this is the way as far as onions, this is the way I plant my onions. Now, planting that many onions, you know, is very labor intensive. So I just figure, you know, I've seen people put them on top of the ground. I've seen them bury them halfway. I've seen them do hundreds of ways of planting onions and been successful at it. But that's them. This is the way I grow them, and the only way I've been successful at growing them, at least to any decent size. My raised bed, it has a lot of back to Eden. You know, it's back to Eden. So I bury them, the onions, just to the top, just to the top. You know, so I put them in, and I use a stick, and I just kind of make a hole, and poke them down in there and just lightly cover them up. It's to do that much work. It's very simple, very easy to do it that way. and it saves me time. Then I can go off and do other projects, and I planted another 100 onions in here yesterday, and it maybe took me an hour, but I also had to weed it out. So there you go. They're it's easy planting for me, and I love onions. I could eat one like an apple, but and I know not everybody else is like that. But in this one flower bed right here, I counted just because I was curious. I have 100 leeks in here, and that's not counting the small ones. This is just counting the big ones that I have, and there's probably another 500 or 600 babies that are shooting up out of there, and that's the small ones. They're coming from last year's babies. Now, once a year, I will take them out, clean it out some, and separate them out a little bit so they have room to grow and they have room to propagate. And then I'll take the babies and I'll move them to other areas and grow them again. Plus, I'm eating them constantly, and it never seems to run out. I'm sorry, you got one of my favorites here in onions, but all right, guys, this is my first episode of Feeding Your Family in Crisis and the importance of onions. And if you can find wild leeks, get some wild leeks, because they're just going to keep producing for you. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ani Ove Ocha means I love you in Hebrew. Later, guys.